Following the events of Alduin's invasion, the Miraak crisis, and the battle against Harkon, Skyrim had consecrated a great hero, linked to its new period of glory. The Dragonborn, a hero of unknown name, but much remembered and awaited in the prophecies. What was known about him? A Nord born in Cyrodiil, mistakenly brought to Skyrim after being confused with a Stormcloak revolutionary. No one imagined that after Helgen, this prisoner would save the nation that deprived him of his freedom. But despite him, the Dragonborn was not the only great hero of Tamriel. Morrowind, a neighboring land to Skyrim, but inversely proportional to it when it comes to glory. In the land of the Dark Elves, the catastrophes and crises they have lived through have made heroism a distant memory. Memories that even go back to the times of the hero known as the Nerevarine, the reincarnation of Indoril Nerevar and savior of the Dunmer. But where would he be today? Centuries have passed since his ship sailed to Akavir, the land of dragons. Why did he go there? Why didn't he return? Would he return? Or worse, is he still alive to return? These unanswered questions lingered in the minds of the few Dunmer who still saw hope in their story. But in those days, their waiting was worthwhile. A few years after the Dragonborn was revealed to the world, a very familiar figure is seen in Velothi's Haven. The Dunmer's eyes could not believe their own vision. The prophecy of his return had been fulfilled. The Nerevarine had returned to Morrowind. Greeted by the people, the Nerevarine walks the lands he once saved, and which, quite possibly, he returned to save from something worse than Dagoth-Ur. So, what was a great joy also raised a terrible omen. The prophecy said that the Nerevarine would only return when Morrowind truly needed him. However, in the present day, the Dunmer nation had relatively recovered from past crises. The eruption of Red Mountain, the Argonian attack, even the threat of Miraak and Solstheim had ended. Why did he return? And worse, why was his expression one of fear? News of his return is exciting even in Skyrim, with hundreds of dark elves leaving Windhelm to return to Morrowind. The Dragonborn, knowing this, considers joining forces with the Nerevarine, although he doesn't fully understand his ideals. The hero of the Nords then sends a message to the hero of the Dunmer, inviting him amicably. Arriving at High Hrothgar, the meeting place, the Dragonborn patiently awaits the arrival of the Nerevarine, and some time later the two heroes met face to face for the first time. The Nerevarine claims to have alarming information about the future of Tamriel, a harbinger of something that could be a catastrophe, and which had already begun in Akavir, and could come to them sooner than they think. Without mincing words, the Nerevarine says that Akavir has been destroyed. Undead beings from different native races began to appear on the continent, appearing almost suddenly. Days before, cities said their inhabitants were no longer dying, even after receiving fatal blows or being on the verge of death. And unexpectedly, waves of undead reappeared, bringing to their side everyone they could kill. Intelligent, fast, and very strong. The Nerevarine fought alongside the mortals as long as he could, but seeing that Akavir was doomed, he made the difficult decision to flee to Tamriel, hoping to find a way to save the rest of the world. But in the middle of that conversation, someone who had been listening in the shadows appeared. Someone who couldn't contain their curiosity to know what two legendary heroes were talking about. Entering the Greybeard's hall, a rather familiar figure appeared with a sarcastic smile on his face. Wearing purple robes and with gray hair and beard, the figure laughed in joy and astonishment. He then introduced himself as the Hero of Kvatch, in fact, Sheogorath. Now living in the body of the former hero of the Oblivion Crisis, the Mad God possesses the ability to travel in the mortal world, as well as his Daedric plane. Claiming to have heard the Nerevarines' monologue, Sheogorath asks the reincarnated hero to continue. Then the Nerevarine states that he went to Akavir seeking answers. After all he had done, Morrowind had become too small for him, and Akavir, as mysterious as it is distant, could be the ideal place for him to fulfill his calling. That continent, cradle of knowledge and mysteries, could give the Nerevarine something no one else has ever had. Access to the future, seeking prophetic answers, trying to understand the dragons, and even pursuing future threats. And that's when the Nerevarine discovered something disturbing. During his stellar observations, he noticed that the Necromancer's moon began to grow in the sky, and he believes this could be directly linked to the Akavir apocalypse. Before he could finish explaining, Sheogorath laughed loudly, knowing between the lines what it was. Mannimarco was moving. The Necromancer, known as the King of Worms, had in the past tried to manipulate the souls of all Tamriel in order to achieve the spiritual destiny of mortals. From then on, it is not known exactly what happened, only that the Necromancer ascended and was never heard from again until the Oblivion Crisis, when he appropriated a mortal avatar with his name. Having been defeated totally or partially, one thing was certain. The King of Worms always returned somehow, but there, 3 possible barriers stood to stop him again. The Dragonborn would be strength. He possesses the Thu'um, the dragon's soul, the connection to Akatosh, and the ability to destroy spiritual entities. The Nerevarine would be resistance. He withstood Corporus, faced Dagoth-Ur, survived divine influence, and dealt with ancient prophecies. And the Hero of Kvatch, like Sheogorath, would be strategy. He understands divine entities, spiritual distortions, and cosmic madness, thus comprehending Mannimarco's true form. But how could they face it? Before they could even attempt to discuss a hypothesis, Arngir appears, stating that Skyrim was suffering a heavy attack. And indeed, upon emerging from the mountain, the hero saw the same corrupted beings that the Nerevarine had seen in Akavir. They were humans, elves, orcs, Khajiit, Argonians. Several Tamrielics now walked like the dead. Undeniably, the barrier between life and death was unstable. And even more undeniably, Skyrim, or all of Tamriel, now faced the greatest threat of its era. At the last minute, the heroes divide their roles in a desperate plan. The Dragonborn would help the armies of Skyrim fight the undead and prevent new ones from appearing. The Nerevarine would seek powerful allies and answers on how to attack Mannimarco directly. And Sheogorath, well, he would pursue Mannimarco himself around the Necromancer's moon. If the King of Worms was planning something, the moon was the key point. But first, the three heroes decide to defeat that first invasion. The dead needed to fall now, and so they would send the first warning to Mannimarco. There were people who could face him,